Good evening, students. So welcome to the first session of Human Resource Management. And today we'll discuss the basic concept of HRM and related topics. Okay. So waiting for, I think, 5 minutes of time and then we'll start the session. So let's wait, I think, for a few minutes of time and then we'll start. So let me share my screen.
Good evening, sir.
Yes, good evening. Good evening, everyone. So I think we will start the session in few minutes of time. Okay, waiting for everyone to join right now. So I think as of now in the previous classes, we have completed 3 subjects as of now. That is financial management, marketing management, and organizational behavior. And now we are starting the 4th subject, that is introduction to human resource management. Fine. So I think we should wait for 5 minutes till at sharp 6:05 we'll start the session. Okay. And today we'll discuss about the basic concept of HRM. That is it is introduction, the opening case, how the you could say HRM evolved, the scope of HRM, the functions of HRM, the function of human resource manager. All these concepts we'll discuss in this particular first session. Okay.
Ankit sir,
Yes.
this is Siddharth Tandon.
Yes, please continue.
अच्छा अंकित जी जो पहले 3 सब्जेक्ट्स हुए हैं फाइनेंशियल मैनेजमेंट उनके मेरे को रिकॉर्डिंग्स भेज पाएंगे बिकॉज आई हैव जस्ट जॉइंड रिसेंटली इन दिस कोर्स
ओके
सो मेरे पास कुछ भी पहले के लेक्चर्स नहीं है
सिद्धार्थ जी आप एक काम कीजिएगा
हाँ जी
आप जस्ट अ मिनट आई एम जस्ट शेयरिंग how exactly you can access all those videos, okay, because it's already recorded videos already we have. Okay, so just a minute Siddharth, okay, wait a minute please. I think any other student, those who joined recently, I think.
Yes, sir. I haven't joined the videos of financial management.
Okay, I think Raksha, you already know that how to access the videos from YouTube.
Yeah, from YouTube. Yeah, IIBM Institute.
You can do one thing, Raksha, just approach to that you could say YouTube channel and whatever recorded video we have for a particular session, go through with it, and if you have any query, please you can approach me.
Okay.
Okay, sir, sure.
So, Siddharth, how to approach that? I'm just telling you. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Just open YouTube, I think, on your browser. Go to IIBM. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. That is IIBM Institute of Business Management. I think it is already my channel right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think Siddharth, I can see the new face right now. Brijesh Maurya, Dr. Sanjay Prakash, Joseph Daniel, I think, is also a new one. Mandar is also a new student, I think so. Okay, so what exactly, like those who have joined recently or those who have joined late, actually, whatever subject or whatever topic we have covered up in the past, you can do one thing, just approach and just type this particular IIBM Institute of Business Management. Okay. Just click on that. You will just see this. Just click on this particular YouTube page. And now you can see that there are, you could say, different faculties are taking different lectures. Okay. So as per the, you could say, your subject requirements. Okay. You can just approach all the videos over here.
Okay.
Okay. Like, for example, recently in the last session on Saturday, we have completed marketing management. Okay.
Okay.
So you can see that regarding marketing management, we have at least around 27, 28 sessions we have. Okay. So you can
Okay.
do one thing. You can just at least go through with these videos,
ठीक है.
like targeting, positioning, probability. Then before that, I think we have covered up OB actually, organizational behavior, that we have completed. And in the January month, yeah, we have completed financial management. Okay. So all the lecture
Okay.
you will find, you just go one by one, I think so. Start with marketing management. I think that would be easy for you. Okay.
Okay.
And if you have any query, you can just approach me through WhatsApp. Fine.
Okay. And सर उसमें and दूसरा एक और चीज है कि फाइनेंशियल मैनेजमेंट में
हाँ जी, प्लीज.
फाइनेंशियल मैनेजमेंट में मेरे वो है जो 2 असाइनमेंट्स हैं.
हाँ जी.
तो उनको कैसे करने हैं? डू आई हैव टू लाइक डू इट ऑन अ न्यू वर्ड फाइल और उसी में नीचे आंसर्स लिखने हैं कैसे?
आई थिंक वर्ड फाइल में करेंगे तो आई थिंक ठीक रहेगा. आप LMS की बात कर रहे हैं, आई थिंक सो, है ना? आप आई थिंक IIBM के LMS की बात कर रहे हैं.
हाँ, इसमें जो नहीं, जो इसमें
फाइनेंशियल मैनेजमेंट इसे ओपन किया.
हाँ जी, इसमें जो एंडिंग में जो ये जो 2 असाइनमेंट्स
हाँ जी,
हैं,
हाँ जी.
ये वाले,
हाँ जी.
तो इनको हाउ डू आई डू इट? सो वर्ड में ही करूं कि उसको नया वर्ड फाइल बना के उसमें फिर and do I need to courier the answer sheets or email them?
No, sir. Actually, I think regarding the better clarification might be given by the concerned authorities. I think so, because
Okay.
definitely the assignment will reach to me. But as of now, I don't know how to actually just convey you the message, because they would be the right person, because you have joined late. So might be some grace may be given to you. Okay.
Okay.
So you can, I think, do one thing, discuss with those, I think, to whomsoever you are in contact. Okay. And then I think they will guide you better.
Okay, ठीक है.
Okay, and in case if you find any problem related subject, you can approach me. Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, yeah, pleasure. Welcome on this. And make sure your classes would be on Monday to Friday. Those who are joined new actually to the classes, Monday to Friday we have a classes from 6 to 8. In this session we actually take the session till 7:30, and then half an hour we give for doubts. Okay.
Okay.
If any you have. And on Saturday itself, from 6 onwards, we actually go for doubt session only. So
Okay.
usually we have the new content on Monday to Friday. Saturday we go for only doubt sessions.
Okay.
Okay, and Sunday is off, and then the route will go on accordingly.
ठीक है सर. Okay.
So any more doubt, I think, to the new students, those who joined, I think, today? Any more query?
No, sir.
I think fine, that is cool. So let's, I think, move to the first topic of the day. And this is the topic, I think, the subject we are starting in today itself. It's the very first topic we are discussing right now regarding introduction to human resource management. Okay. So first of all, like when we are talking about this particular subject, human resource management, okay, as we know that the demand or the popularity of human resource or human as an asset for the company is a recent concept, because as you know that previously, if you talk about the era of 19th century, okay, the companies or the industries considered human as machinery. Okay, they are not having much emphasis on the you could say the aspect, the behavioral aspect of human. We can talk about the aesthetic options of human. Their expectation means the human component is basically completely ignored. Okay, and the transitions actually comes afterwards, when actually the demand of the human, or demand of, you could say, human resource is very popular. And now you can see that the human resource is basically the most popular asset of any company, because without the quality, without the skill level of human resource, without the experience of the existing human resource, definitely a company cannot survive in the long run. And the think tank, the key inputs, the lively input which all the human resource provide to the you could say to the organization, and how they are helping them in order to nurture the company, in order to, you could say, grow the company in the longer period of time. So that is basically the important concept regarding what is human resource first of all. And we'll discuss all these, you could say, topic regarding training, regarding development, regarding, you could say, approaches, regarding planning of the human resource, their appraisals, their you could say selection process. Everything we'll actually discuss in this particular syllabus. Okay, syllabus I think I have already shared with everyone. Those who are actually the old students we have. With the new one, definitely You just do one thing. All the new students, those who have joined, just text me on my number. I will just add you on the broadcasting group, and I'll
बता
just
देगा
share
मुझे
all the details regarding this subject.
कौन सा
Okay,
है?
everyone.
एक साइड है कोई सा मेरे
Mr.
वो तो
Ashish,
पहले पढ़े थे
please,
ना
I have a request. Please kindly don't unmute in between. It's my humble request. Yes, I think Mr. Brijesh, Sanjay, I think Mandar. We can see new faces today. Siddharth. Okay, fine.
Yes, sir. This is my first session.
Yeah. Please, you can just note down this number, because usually what I do whenever we discuss any case study or any notes which I have to share with you, I've already created one broadcasting group for the students. Okay, so I'll just directly float all the important information regarding subject I'm talking right now. Rest everything you can discuss with the institute. Fine. And it's a humble request to the new student, please kindly don't unmute in between. It will create some disturbance during the lecture delivery. Mr. Ashish, please, I have a humble request, please. Don't unmute yourself. Yes, students. Have you noted down, I think?
Yes, sir.
Fine, perfect.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so let's move
Yes,
to
sir.
yeah, thank you so much. And please, in during the session, if you have any query, because I always want the session to be interactive. Okay, so whatever query you have, in which language you are comfortable, please kindly speak up, because more and more we speak, session would be, I think, more conducive, more efficient for the bunch of students we have in the classes. Clear? And in case if you have any query after the sessions as well, please you can approach me through WhatsApp. Just text me, and whenever the convenient time I have, I'll revert you. Clear? So let's start with the definition part. Now, as I told you, how the transition actually from the traditional level of human resource or traditional level of human approach to the modern level of human approach, toward you could say more asset-based human approach. Okay, there are basically three major definitions, three major important components which comes under human resource management. There are three basic fundamental, you could say, parameters for understanding the human resource management. The first is called integration, second is called influence, and third is called applicability. Okay, now when we discuss about the concept, what is integration? Integration is nothing but basically how actively the employees, how actively the human resource, how actively the persons working in the company are closely interconnected, and they are actually sharing the harmonious relationship with each other. Okay, there are definitely, you can say, the less conflict we have, they are more innovative in their approach, they are basically more you could say imbibe when we talk about their intellectual level, they are actually coming up with the good ideas, good concept, they are more actually indulged in the brainstorming. So when we discuss about this particular concept, HRM concept, which based on the integration, it is nothing but the form or the type of employment relationship which we have among the employees or the human resource of the organization. Okay, and it's very important concept regarding human resource, that if there is no integration, or if there is, you could say, moderate integration, definitely the company has to face a long term, you could say, repercussion regarding the maybe you could say constructive politics, destructive politics, and some loopholes may be generated whenever the integration is not up to the mark. So it is an important duty for HR manager in the company that whenever we are hiring any employee, those employees must be actually you could say understand the organization culture. First of all, they need to understand the duties, responsibilities of the organization. They always need to keep in mind how actually in an integrated, in a sum up way, basically we can connect with each other. Okay, there should not be you could say have any sort of we can say in clarity of thoughts we talk about, or you could say there should be a clear vision, there should be a, you could say, clear target should be communicated to all the employees of the organization, and accordingly definitely the integration, and each and every individual must understand their roles and responsibilities in the organization. That is the first part regarding integration approach of HRM. Okay, second point is called influencing approach. Okay, influencing, when we talk about the, like, as we know that whenever we are you could say talking about any company, and as we know that the people having different perspective, or you could say different mindset whenever they are working in the system, And each and every individual may be bifurcated, may be analyzed on the basis of their performance, on the basis of their skill level, on the basis of, you could say, their approach towards management or approach toward their colleagues. If we talk about, it is very, very important that influencing is nothing, basically you are setting a benchmark in the company. Okay, when we talk about any organization, there are, you could say, different workers available in the company, and all the workers having different potential level, different, you could say, influential characteristics we're talking right now. For example, let us suppose if you talk about a sales company, and in a sales company the target to an individual given is to give 3 lakh rupees of sales in a month. Definitely everyone won't might not be possible to achieve that target, but there would be some individual who are having might be exponential targets in the particular month, because the skill level, the experience level, you could, the quality of how he speaks, how he convinces to the customer is outstanding, is exceptional, we can say. Okay, so influencing can do nothing but basically whenever an employee in the company is setting a benchmark, and that benchmark basically influencing, motivating others to work in the same direction, to work in the same pathway, it is called your influential characteristics. Hanji, is it clear? I think so. And the last one, the third pillar of this HRM definition, it's called your applicability. Applicability is nothing but basically whatever planning, whatever you could say human resource contingency we prepared, whatever you could say human resource development plans we have designed, these you could say planning, this development, this you could say blueprint, all this you could say think tank, those who are actually continuously monitoring, continuously actually approaching, and always remember all these important, you could say, human resource, you could say, policies, it must be practically applicable. It must be actually executable. It means that whenever we are actually launching any policy, or whenever we are thinking about any human resource development plans or any human resource planning we are talking right now, each and every individual's objective should be fulfilled. Okay, for example, definitely a worker working in the company having their own expectation from the for joining the company. Even if you talk about organization, definitely organization do have their own vision, on mission, on targets of profit earning as well. Then talk about society as well. Society also having some expectation from the company in which we are working right now. So these three are the important part. Integration, influencing characteristics, and the applicability are the three major important part of any human resource management. I hope so it is clear.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, please.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much. Now, there is one small case actually, which is based on the human resource management, how the traditional human resource management is actually shifted to modern human resource management. How the, you could say, more stringent human resource management shifted to more flexible human resource management. Please have a read of this particular case first, and then we'll discuss how this emergence of human resource management arises. Please, 5 minutes of time, please. It's a very, very simple case. It is simple situation given in this case.
Okay. You have gone through, sir.
Yes, sure. Anyone can summarize the case and why exactly we are discussing this case right now under human resource? Yes, students. Anyone who can summarize this case and what exactly the issue which we are discussing right now and why we are just giving the, you could say, so much importance to human resource management as a discipline we are talking about in the organization. Yes, Rina, waiting for the response, please.
Yeah, can you hear me, sir? This is Uday Kumar.
Sure. Uday, please continue.
Yeah, thanks. Actually, I think this Delvi and Akhtar Khan was worked for the organization on contract basis, and there is no full time. So it means that the contract basis employees can be removed at any time, as per the there should be some kind of notice, but as per that, there was nothing notice has given to them. All of a sudden, they have removed, and they become a clueless and helpless, become helpless conditions. In that way, I think they might be kind of committed suicide, bracing themselves in front of the organization itself. And that it has become a big issue, because since they have served for the organization for around 17 to 19 years, both of them. So there should be some kind of consideration from the human resource and the proper communication with them to what the purpose of removing them, like what is the reason behind them to remove from the organization, or like any kind of reason. They would have given a proper explanations to the employees. That might that may help them to understand what was the reason behind them to remove from the duties. I think this might not happen, and I think that was the reason, I hope.
Yes.
And also, yeah, and also they have not follow the laws and practices, like ethics, law and ethics. I think they have not practiced in a proper way. And that should have been in a place, so it would have helped them to survive further.
Definitely. Very good explanation. Thank you, Uday. I think it's the very first time we are interacting, I think so. Yeah, thank you so much.
Yes, thanks.
So I think as you can discuss this particular, as we have gone through with this particular case study, what is the basic fundamental, or what is the basic point which we want to take out from this particular discussion? That when we are talking about the type of employment which you have in the company, like as we know that there are different type of employment we have, which is like especially in the private sector, if you talk about, we have a different type of employment. There are some are, you could say, on the contract basis, some are basically on the hourly basis, some are on the permanent basis. Even those who are permanent, like as we discussed in the case study, it is not assured that your job will be for till your death or till your retirements. Okay, the basic, you could say, protection, or the legal protection, better to say, I think, in such issues or in such cases, we are only discussing one very simple case study for the teaching purpose. But when we discuss about the labor courts, when we discuss about the court, the cases pending in the labor court right now, even in India or even throughout the world, there are a lot of, you could say, challenges with the human resource or an employee of the company always face. There are certain harassment as well when we talk about. So when we discuss about certain issues, which is basically based on a type of employment which they have, and on the basis of type of employment as well, a particular employee always getting, you could say, is facing actually a lot of challenges during their working, you could say, period, or during their active period of working. If you talk about these, basically things may be resolved with the help of, you could say, legal HRM, which you can say that there should be some legal protection against all such, you could say, discrepancies, all such, you could say, concerns which were raised by, you could say, various employees throughout the world, if we talk about how this particular, you could say, situation may be solved, may be actually resolved by the company, and we must have to, you could say, come to a conclusion of the solution which may benefit to the worker. It's very, very important, because somehow the worker is giving their 100%, they are giving their, you could say, efficient time, their active time of life of 25 to 45 or 50 years of time. And after that, like when we talk about retirement benefit, when we talk about pension benefit, when we talk about bonus shares, these type of clauses must have to be included in the human resource management policies of any company, so that the worker always may feel comfortable, confident, and credible towards the company when it's come to their work. I hope so. This case study is the major input which we have because of this case study we are discussing right now. Later on, definitely we'll discuss a lot of cases in this particular subject, but it's a very important case study which we have, the protection of the human resource in the company. Any other input? I think it is clear, everyone.
Yes.
Magic. Shall we move?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much. So let's start with the basic definition of HRM. Okay, as I told you already, the human resource management basically consists of different functionalities, different roles and responsibility which the HR manager do have in the company when it's come to the identification of the prospective employees, their recruitments, selection, their training, their development. As you know, there is very common phenomena, common process in the blueprint is the company always follow. Okay. Now, when we discuss about the human resource management, definitely human resource management is not a static approach, first of all. It's a dynamic approach. And as we know that, it's one of the, you could say, very tedious and very challenging task, being an HR manager in the company, being a team leader in the company, being a sales manager in the company, or being that position which we are holding in the company as a manager. Again, I'm using the word manager. It's very, very challenging task nowadays. And you know that, like, even like we talk about in the academics, if I'm talking about from my perspective, the HOD working in the institute, or even the principal working in the schools, or even the director working in the colleges, they, in order to manage that pool of resources or pool of that individual, it is one of the challenging tasks, because you cannot satisfy everyone. You have to actually come with the win-win situation. You have to, you could say, launch such policies in which each and every employee is comfortable. Okay, so human resource approach, basically it is not at all static, it is more dynamic actually, and it is one of the, you could say, most challenging task in the recent time, if you're talking right now, because of the competition, because of the alternatives, because of the, you could say, the switching pattern which the employee follow in order to get the better remuneration, better benefits from the companies. These are the, you could say the additional challenges which the HR manager do have in front of them. Now, the next part, we have the core element of HRM we are talking right now. Now, basically, 5 characteristics which we need to observe, which we need to analyze. The first one is people. Now, whenever we talk about any organization, the organization is totally based on the staff or the people, those who are working. And as per the quality and the bunch of people you have in the company, according to that, the company may have a reflection in the market. Okay, now when we talk about, like, for example, very simple example about mutual fund. Okay, now whenever a company launch a mutual fund, you always see that the trustees in the mutual funds, the custodian in the mutual funds, the directors of the mutual fund, those who are actually playing the active role. Now, whenever the particular investor is thinking to invest in a company, they always observe such important parameters. They think about that who is the fund manager, where the fund is allocated, what about the experience of the fund manager. Means again, what we're talking right now, we are talking about the people. Similarly, like for example, you choose IIBM, you choose any university for your education. Definitely, you always actually look forward for 2 important aspects, because ultimately, being a student, the major component is, first part is all about the good quality of education, good, you could say, communication, good, you could say, imparting from the faculty when it comes to the knowledge base of different subjects. Second point, you always see about the placement opportunity. Okay, but first and foremost, in the prime motive or the prime focus is basically all about the education or the level of, you could say, delivery or the quality of delivery which the institute is providing to their you could say, to their students. These things happen everywhere actually. When we talk about the people as an organization, because without quality people, without us, you could say a good bunch of you could say people in the economy, or in the country, or like even we talk about the example of government as well. The prime minister of a country cannot work standalone. They need also a team. They need also basically the surrounding. They need also that skills that are available around them, and it's a team effort. It's not an individual effort. Those who are actually carry forward this country at a different level. That is called the people. Second important point is management. Now, management, as we know that the management is basically one of the most important characteristics in order to operate an economy, in order to operate a system, in order to, you could say, provide a great administration in the system, in the company, in the country, if we talk about, for an example, if we are taking right now. So management is basically nothing but they are basically the one who are following the principle of developing, maintaining, remunerating, acquisition. What they are doing ultimately, they are administratives. They are basically more controller over the operating activity of the organization. That is called the management. The third part we have, it is called integration and consistency. I think integration I already discussed with you, how how you could say the bond and the relationship of the workers working in the company, and how consistently we are giving the same level of performance in the long run. Means it is basically all about the integration and the consistency. Influence we discussed already, applicability we have already covered. Okay, so as we discuss about the very basic and important understanding about this HRM, these 5 elements and these 3 important applications: integration, influencing, and applicability. I hope so it is clear, everyone. Any input from your side? Any doubt?
No, sir.
Perfect.
No, sir.
Yeah. Thank you.
Sir,
Yeah, Raksha, please.
sir, from which book you are teaching this HRM subject?
I'll share, Raksha, don't worry. So I'll just
Okay,
share a
sir.
good quality book, Indian author and foreign authors with you. Just give me a few
Okay.
days of time. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, there are teaching notes which I have with me right now. So I'll give you certain books basically which may give you some other information or some additional information, which is, you could say, based on the practical context. Okay. So I think that would be far better for you people. Like similar like Kotler I shared in the MM. Okay.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Oh, okay, sir.
Fine, definitely. So shall we move? I think any more query?
No, sir. Can we?
No, sir.
Perfect. Because see, you can understand. Yes, Mr. Anuj. How are you, Mr. Anuj?
No problem, sir. Fine. Go ahead, sir.
Great, sir. Thank you so much. I think someone is raising some query. No, I think so. Yes, Raksha. I think that's the point which I was actually discussing right now. Because as you know that, like, even the content, whatever available on my slide, the important thing is that the delivery of lecture should be actually efficient. And even like when we discuss about this case, there are a lot of other things which we have covered up, like during my lecture delivery as well. So this particular notes which I prepare, it is just to actually show you on my screen that definitely what topic we are discussing and in which context we are discussing. But definitely I'll suggest everyone that I'll definitely share you few very, very good books with you. Just give me some time. I have to search in my drive actually which books is available right now. Hard copy, definitely I have the books with me, but definitely it's the time right now for the online education. So I'll give you one Indian author, one foreign authors, and definitely case study which we'll discuss, which would be mix of both actually. Clear, Raksha? I think clear.
Okay. Yes, sir. Clear.
Thank you so much. So shall we move to the objective now? Because today is the very first class we have, so we are discussing the basic part of human resource management. And definitely, in order to keep this subject more interesting, in order to keep the intake of the class in a large number on daily basis, I'll definitely plan some activity. But before that, I need to create the base of the subject right now. Okay, because that's the reason this is a bit theory right now we are discussing in the class. Clear, I think, everyone?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you so much. So let's move to the objectives now. Now, when we discuss about the objectives of human resource, definitely each and every individual, like even though there are so many the students we have in the class, those are working class people actually. Definitely, even like before joining the institution, after completion of your education, like Mr. Anuj is there actually working since so many years in the industry. Definitely, he has a lot of objectives or the futuristic approach when it's come to settling various obligations, the liability which he might have in the future. Okay, when it's come to the personal objective, definitely Mr. Anuj might have some personal objective with him in order to achieve something in his or her life. Okay, when it's come to you could say functional objectives. Functional means particular activity which they have to perform. Organizational objective, definitely he has to fulfill because he is a, you could say, very active member of the organization in which he's working right now. And along with that, he have the potential to actually give the key you could say considerable input to the company in order to nurture them, in order to actually help the company in order to achieve their vision and the mission. And the last one is societal objective. Definitely each and every individual having their own way on you could say perspective to serve the society. It may be anything, it may be any form. Okay, so Mr. Anuj might have the different, you could say, objective, because why I taken the example of Mr. Anuj, because he's working since a very long period of time, and when it's come to fulfilling the objective. Okay, now let's discuss.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes. Thank you. So I think we'll move to the particular objectives one by one. Now, when we discuss about the very important objective, which is, you could say, which is largely ignored by the people or largely ignored throughout the world, if I'm talking right now, it is about the societal objective. People always think that, like, whenever they are working in the company, they are only restricted to their family, to their personal life, and everything is done. They do not think that they do have certain responsibilities when it's come to serving to the nation, serving to the society, helping the needed ones, helping the, you could say, the gray areas of a particular country. Okay, helping the untapped area of the particular country where the, you could say, the help, the support system is not up to the mark, if we can say. Societal objective for any individual, any HR, if you're talking about in the company, it must be actually the person or a group or a company or a government, even if you're talking right now, these systems must have to be ethically responsible and socially responsible in order to cater, in order to fulfill the need of a particular system or a particular, you could say, society. That is the very first objective. Like, as we know that in this period of pandemic, the societal objective of government of India, societal objective of different countries in the world, how they are actually integratedly they are coming together to help each other. In case of any economic breakdown, in case of any war, in case of a nature calamity, how each and every, you could say, countries are coming together. When we discuss about the organization, you talk about Reliance. Okay, how the Reliance is basically serving the people of the country when it's when giving, you could say, a good quality of education. They are actually giving some support system in the sports activity, and how actively actually they are more, you could say, considerable, more, you could say, uh, influenced or more, you could say, attracted towards giving the benefits to the you could say a particular sector of the population, those who are untapped, untouched, or social, or you could say practically are not supported in terms of finance, in terms of, you could say, any other aspect. That is the first objective of any company we discuss, any country we discuss. It may be actually come under individual as well. As we know that each and every individual available in the class right now might have their own social objectives. Someone wants to serve the underprivileged children. Someone wants to serve the, you could say, the women of the society, women of the country. Someone may have a, you could say, certain you could say parameter when it's come to uh, the environmental degradation, or we talk about population or issues related to environment. Okay, different person may have their own societal objective when we talk. The very, very first point regarding the human resource, it's called the societal objectives. Second point, we have organizational objective. Organizational objective is, it's very simple, that whenever like Mr. Anuj is working in the company, definitely his first priority when he's working from 9 to 5 is just to give his best to the company. The primary objective should be the company first in that duration of time, and later on after 6 o'clock, once he reaches home, definitely he has some personal objective, functional objective, or might be societal objectives. Okay, that is second point we're talking right now. Third one, it's all about the functional objective. Functional objective is nothing but basically, like, as you know, that whenever we are working in the in any organization, we have different departments available. Okay, each and every department is basically responsible for the development of the company, for the, you could say, achieving the vision and mission of the company, and giving a company, you could say, a new heights in the market. This functional objective is nothing but basically the role, responsibility, and the obligation of each and every department working in the company, and how integratedly these departments are giving the best possible effort in the organization to reach the new height, to reach the new level of success in the company. And the personal objective, I think we already covered up. I hope you understood, student, how the personal, functional, organizational, societal objective from the perspective of the human resource may be understood. Anyone having an input regarding these 4 objectives? Haji. Anyone having an input, please? I hope so you understood what exactly we are talking right now. Yes, student, please kindly confirm.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Shall we move? I think any input from your side regarding these objectives? Shall we move? I think if it is clear, the scope of HRM now. Haji, shall we?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yes,
so
sir.
much. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So let's move to the next part. That is about the scope of HRM. Scope means functional areas, the areas of operations we're talking right now. The organization, when we're talking right now, when a particular person enter into the company and how he actually exit the company, the journey from the day one to the last day. Okay, how a particular human resource is basically actively approaching, actively, you could say, associated with the company's objectives, or with the company's, you could say, hierarchy, with the company's culture, with the company's system. And whenever we are talking about this journey of an individual in the company, okay, having different categories, having different analysis, having different, you could say, challenges they might have to face. Okay, so below our link which we're discussing right now, the major component of that, okay, that comes under, you could say, scope of human resource management. What exactly we need to analyze for a human resource in the company, and how exactly the company must need to actually include or apply or execute all these important activities in the organization in order to create, you could say, a very integrated, very, you could say, additive, or you could say more, you could say, contributed effort by the individuals working in the organization. Okay, these are the major activities we have. Now, when we discuss about the very first point, that is called HR planning, because these are the units of the syllabus as well. Okay, if you open the syllabus, actually, you might have actually syllabus. You might have these units as well in your syllabus. That is HR planning is the second unit we have. Job analysis, job design is third and fourth unit we have, and so on. Okay, so all the topics definitely will discuss in detail one by one, each and every day till the time we have. We won't be able to complete the syllabus. So the first point we have, that is called HR planning. Okay, what is HR planning first of all? Anyone? Any input? Human resource planning. How it starts? How the manager can initiate? Yes, Somajit.
Actually, this is being initiated by the HR manager by creating a liaison with the employees of the organization, listening to their points and the views, so that the plan could be put forward to the upper departments, and it could be implemented in form.
Okay.
and afterwards, after the implementation, it's also the duty, it's also the function of an HR manager or the other supervisors who are also a part of HR management to supervise the working so that it goes on smoothly, and to coordinate with the other employees to find out such if there is some problems, and to sort out that immediately so that there is no barrier in such an working.
Okay. Good, Somijit. That inputs, I think, from your side. Now, first of all, like as I'm just talking about the human resource planning, okay, human resource planning is basically associated with the proactive approach in the company. Okay, whenever we're talking about any organization, the HR manager must have to be very proactive in terms of focusing on 4R concept. Okay, now what this 4R concept, definitely let me just give you a brief indication about that, because as we know that it is more about, I think, just a minute, please. Hanji. So the first point we're discussing about the HR planning. And the first and foremost thing we have that is about it is a proactive approach, and it follow 4R approach. Okay, what is 4R? Any idea? Any guesses?
Sir, is it recruitment, rehabilitation, retraining, and retentions?
I think Raksha, you directly jumped to the core part of HRM. Yes. No, you are absolutely correct, Raksha. But I think as we can see that we have a heterogeneous group of people over here. So in order to actually take them to that path right now to understand human resource management, we will go with the basic part right now. But thanks for your input. The first one is called that definitely that is about the right people. Right people means the best fit to the company in terms of skill, knowledge, and experience. The second R we have that is called capabilities. Capabilities means potential, the temperament, the we can say attentiveness. Okay, that is called capabilities. And capability depend on the requirement of the company. Time, right time means the right time to hire an employee. Like for example, if the company is planning to expand in the future, definitely they need to plan their human resource in advance, so that whenever they will actually practically execute or practically implicate or commercialize their expansion, definitely they must have that backup available in terms of human resource to handle the operations of the new units or new SPUs we talk about. And next one we have right place. Place means basically the origin from where we will actually hire the people. Okay, so these are the basic 4R we are talking right now. What Raksha suggested, it is basically the core part of HR planning and HR implementation, human resource planning implementation. Okay, Raksha, I think it's clear.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Thanks for your input as well. Okay, is this clear, the first part about the HR planning we are talking right now?
Yes, sir.
Hanji. Now, next point we have job analysis. What is job analysis, please? What is the meaning of job analysis? What attributes include in job analysis? First of all,
Sir,
let
it's
Raksha, please.
it's systematic in this HR concept only. It's collecting information on the nature of job, the qualities and the qualification which is required for a job.
Okay.
That is physical and mental capabilities, duties and responsibilities, and the necessary skills which are required for a particular job.
Perfect. So I think more in a formal sense, or in a you could say academic sense, if we talk about the job analysis, basically job analysis is nothing but the detailed information about a particular job order. Okay. And these detailed information basically consist of two parts. Any idea, Raksha? Anyone else? Two parts which always include in job analysis whenever we are actually looking for any job in the market. Hanji.
So what you asked?
The concept, like when we discuss job analysis, for example, you want to apply for a job, you
Yes.
will actually analyze the job on the definitely you will analyze the detailed information available in the prospectus. Okay. What are the two major components which comes under job analysis?
Experience and qualification, sir.
Definitely experience, qualification, Mr. Vinod. Thank you so much. Yes, Rishikesh.
Gathering information.
Okay, okay, fine.
Skills and abilities
Okay.
of the employee.
Okay, okay, very good, very good. Fine.
Experience in the particular field that is being required by the organization, means whether it is being marketing or something other department. So it could be experience on that field and qualification on that field.
Okay, okay, Swami. Understood. I think everyone is right. I think yes, Raksha. I think you want to say something.
Yes, sir, the skill sets.
Definitely, definitely. Raksha, I think everyone, those who have given the inputs, everything is correct actually. I just wanted to say the two bifurcation of job analysis. Always remember, whenever we are analyzing a particular job and whenever we go through the detailed, you could say, version of the job which is being, you could say, communicated by the company, it always consists two major important points. The one is called your job description, and second one is basically called your job specification. Okay. Now, I think I need one more slide for that. Just a minute, okay? I just copy the remaining topic. So just a minute, please. Yes, now to define, I think so. So when we discuss about this particular point, that is about the job analysis, which is the detailed information of a particular, you could say, job, which is being provided by the company. Now, these particular job analysis include basically two important points. That is about the job description and job specification. Now, when we discuss about the job description, the job description consists of title of the job, HR manager, peon, director, whatsoever. Title, position, we can say the location of working as well, the responsibilities or duties, okay? Responsibilities we can talk about as well, okay? Then what else we can include in job description?
Salary part.
Anji?
Salary.
Yes, yes, definitely. That is about the slot of remuneration. Okay, what else? I think this is a major point. There are a lot of things which comes under job description. When we come to job specification, what are job specification we are talking right now? That is need of the education, the minimum qualification requirement, that is education, experience you required in the company for that particular part, skill set or certification required for that. Okay, then we talk about emotional quotient, or better to say, I think, the IQ level of an individual. Okay, training set, etc. These are comes under basically job descriptions and job specifications. Haji, everyone. Is this point clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
डिपार्टमेंट से
हाँ जी, yes, yes. Any doubt?
डिपार्टमेंट हो जाएगा सर जॉब किस डिपार्टमेंट जाना चाहते हैं?
हाँ जी, definitely, definitely. Because department का information आपका आता है, that is in the detail information, job description. Okay, which department they are talking right now. Okay. Yes, Rishikesh, I think clear.
Okay, sir.
Now, I think we need to go for a break, short break of 10 minutes, and we'll get back to you at 7:05. Okay, everyone? Then we'll start this all the remaining topics.
सर एक बार डिफिनेशन वाले स्लाइड खोल दीजिएगा तो स्लाइड
Definition. This one?
नहीं सर सेकंड डिफिनेशन
Okay, definition. Okay, fine. Fine. Okay, students. So we'll get back to it 7:05 sharp. Yes, student. Shall we start? Akash? I hope so. Everyone is back.
Yes, sir.
So the next point we have, that is about the job design. Okay. Now, when we discuss about the concept of job design, we are actually asking a lot of questions with the HR manager. How, why, when, what, for whom, where. The roles and responsibility may be assigned, or roles and responsibility maybe you could say allotted to different, you could say, individuals working in the company. So job design is basically associated with the various, you could say, analysis, like for example, to whom to allot a particular job, you could say, position in the company, what sort of responsibility they have to perform. Okay, where, which location they need to transfer, which location they would be comfortable and effective in the company. Okay, what would be the time, or you could say the tenure, or you could say the period of time, the working hours, we can say, in the organization. Okay, why a particular job rotation, job enlargement is basically associated, and how this particular HR manager may actually focus on the development. Okay, so when we discuss about the job design, it is basically associated with the job structure. Okay, and these job structure basically consist of three major points, which actually include job rotation. Sorry, job rotation. The second point, we have job enlargement. And then we have the one more point, I think, that is job enrichment. So a lot of, you could say, activity, the task which is in the hand of the HR manager, and how the HR manager basically is planning, basically implementing all these important tasks, that comes under, you could say, job analysis and HR planning. Right now. Clear, I think, everyone? That is job design. I think recruitment and selection is very simple point. Okay, how to recruit and how to select. Then orientation and placement. What is orientation? I think it is the, yes, Prince. I think you have raised your hand.
So
Yes.
introduction to new office environment.
Yes, yes. It is basically an ice-breaking session actually. Okay, or ice-breaking tenure or the period where the employee is basically getting involved in the system, and he's actually getting the insights from the company, what exactly the company's culture, their system, their rules, regulation uh, are there in any organization. That is called orientation and placement. Placement means ultimately we are placing the person. Yes, Raksha. Yes, please.
Yes, sir, that the relevant information of the company is given to the new hires so that they can work efficiently.
Yes, yes, perfect. Anyone, like, as we know that, like, for example, you may be, you could say, hired in a bank, you got selected in a particular bank. Okay, it happens with me actually. And when I got selected in Vijaya Bank, I think in 2012, at that time, actually, we do not have any option to choose a geographical location, because we were on the training in Bangalore. And after that training, definitely we have orientation regarding the policies of the company, the roles and responsibility which we need to cater being a manager in the organization. After that orientation, that period of 15 days or 20 days, the training period which we had, then each and every individual is placed at different location at different positions. Okay, different location means, for example, if I, because I was working in Bombay, my friend was working in Indore, some of them working in Delhi. I mean, different part, definitely they have actually placed those individuals. So that is come the orientation and the placement part. Okay, and the last one we have, that is called the training and development. Training and development is very simple, because, and make sure this training and development is not about introductory training we're talking right now. It is more about the dynamic part, because the training and development is basically an ongoing process in the company, at how the company is basically managing its resources, how the company is basically managing its attributes, how the company is basically providing the updated and upgraded knowledge to their workers. So that is about the training and developments. Point number 6. See, we are actually discussing all this topic right now just as a part of syllabus, but definitely we'll discuss all these points in details. Okay, in the units whenever we'll start it. Okay. Any doubt, please, in the 6 points? I think we'll move to the remaining points now.
No, sir.
Yeah, perfect. Seventh one, we have performance appraisal. What is performance appraisal? Anji, what is performance appraisal?
Salary increment salary.
Okay, salary increment in the salary. Yes. What else?
Performance basis
Employees.
increment.
Yes. Okay.
Sir,
Sir,
the
it is your evaluation with respect to your goals, your achievements. Then based on your increment is decided after evaluation of these parameters. Basically, many companies have the 6 monthly, yearly basis also.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, sir, it's employees evaluation on the basis of the, yeah.
Definitely. So like as we are discussing about the evaluation part, definitely the performance appraisal is definitely directly related with the you could say evaluation. Okay. But on what ground we can evaluate a particular individual or a group in the organization? Okay.
On capabilities.
Just let us listen to what I'm saying, sir. Hello.
Yeah, please, Prince.
Yeah, basically, I'm a QA manager of the Alembic Pharmaceuticals Limited right now. So I'm giving you some information regarding the performance of the appraisal.
Okay.
Performance appraisal is like as a your goodness actually. What are doing in the contribution of the company. Basically, what is the performance? Like I'm giving you a task. So that will be completed within a 10 hours. Within that time hours. That is your performance. That is the performance. You are coming every day. You are if you are leaving every week. I am some sick. I am not coming to there. So this is not a good performance basically. At present जो scenario है मैं आपको बता दूं. आपका performance depend करता है. That is depend on your work performance basically. If you are giving some task. If you have giving us some work, then you work with the honestly and perfectly. So that is very important for your performance.
Definitely, Prince. Yes, absolutely correct. So like as I think, Prince, you are working on that particular position, definitely there are certain methods as well. Let me just go in deep, I think so. So when we discuss about this performance appraisal, definitely there are so many methods through which you can evaluate that performance. Like if you might have heard about the psychological mechanism or psychological system, we have 360-degree evaluation. There's some checklist method, grading method.
Yeah.
I think I didn't remember a lot of actual right now, but there are certain methods which we have. Okay, under which we actually we can evaluate the performance, and on the basis of evaluation, definitely we can appraise that. Appraise means we can actually promote that individual. We may demote that individual based on their you could say score, if we are talking right now in the terms.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
Now, when we discuss about this particular performance appraisals, whenever we talk about, it is totally based on the evaluation method which we are opting for. Because as you know that different organizations do follow different models of appraisals or different methods of appraisal depends on their you could say system, their belief, their methodology which they follow. The important thing is that the evaluation system should be transparent first of all. Okay, and it should be practical. Okay, it should not be based on certain loopholes, certain discrepancies in the system. So it is very, very important that whenever we are discussing about the performance appraisal, it should be actually based on some evaluation system which must be transparent. There must be, you could say, the right you could say reporting authorities which we must have. There should be right deployment of the, because see, performance appraisal is a terminal end for any company, for an HR manager to assess that. But before that, your structure should be sound enough so that each and every individual must be evaluated on their credibility, on their real, you could say, output given to the company. I think Mr. Prince, am I correct with that?
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Basically, I'm giving 2 words only.
Yeah, please.
Regarding the performance. One is discipline and second is follow the LCOA. Simply.
Second is?
Follow the LCOA.
Follow the?
LCOA. You know what the ALCOA?
No. I don't know actually. Yes, please.
ALCOA is a terminology of the correctness.
Is it ALCOA? Can you please spell?
ALCOA actually used in pharmaceutical sector.
Okay.
Yeah. But basically, I think that is followed for everywhere. You can follow that. आप घर में भी ALCOA follow करते हो.
ALQUA.
ALCOA.
COA. Okay, I don't know actually because I belong to finance.
No, nothing else.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is follow for everyone, I think.
Okay.
It should be follow for everyone, I think.
Is it stand for attributable, legible,
Yes.
contemporaneous, original, and accurate?
Yes.
Okay. I think it is based on data integrity and
Right. Right.
Actually, this particular ALCOA which you are discussing right now, actually I never ever heard and I never ever applied in my teaching methods as of now.
Okay. No, sure.
Because we are more based on a management subject, or you could say more in the academic field. So might be, I don't know actually. Okay, but definitely I'll read it once because it's very new for me. At least you gave me something to read in the night. Okay, thank you so much. Okay. Yeah.
Yes, sir. This is the this is the new word which we have heard today.
Yeah, definitely. It's always good actually. That's the reason I think even in the marketing we enjoyed our classes a lot. Okay, same I just want for HRM as well. More and more will discuss because this is a batch actually which is more based on experience, knowledge, and age group as well. Again, we have a diversified age group in this particular section. Okay, so even I learn a lot of things from you people as well on daily basis. Anji, is it clear, please, everyone? The performance appraisal, that is evaluation.
Yes, sir.
Anji. Next one we have job evaluation.
Yeah.
Okay. So when we discuss about the job evaluation, the evaluation as we discussed already, because evaluation must be done, it should be transparent, it should be to the right reporting authorities, and evaluation may, you could say maybe on the uniform characteristics. Okay, it should not be done like if you have the month end available, you are working only for last 10 days and 20 days you are just actually taking rest and you are very comfortable, you are very, you could say, sleepy. I think in the sleeping mode we can say in that 20 days. The appraisal, or when we talk in the terms of evaluation as well, it is very, very important that the job evaluation should be uniform and there should be, you could say, certain considerations, certain approaching method, and you could certain criteria.
Can I share something?
Yeah, please.
A job evaluation is a systematic way of determining the value and worth of the job is relation to the other job in the organization.
Because even like what I remember actually when we discuss about the job evaluation, we have certain subjectives and certain, you could say, quantitative methods available for that, which is, you could say, based on analytical and non-analytical methods. Okay, so a job evaluation may be done, you could say, with the help of various statistical tool as well. When we talk about ranking method, when we talk about factor comparison, which is based on research analysis. Okay, when we talk about trained analysis in the system. Okay, so job evaluation it is basically more about an analytical approach to assess the performance of an individual. Okay.
Okay, sir.
The 9 point is very, very simple. Actually, it is employee and executive remuneration. No need to discuss about. 10th point, I think it's motivation. What is motivation? I think we discussed in the OB, the second syllabus which we completed. What is motivation, students, in a simple language?
Hello.
To encourage the employee to work.
Yeah, sure. You can.
Yeah, Brijesh, please.
To encourage the employee to do work correctly.
Okay. I think any student from my previous classes, what exactly the word I used actually?
It is the process of stimulating people to action the accomplish the goal actually.
So that is the word actually which I want, stimulus. Okay.
Yeah, stimulate.
Stimulus which may enforce you to work something in a positive direction.
Yeah.
Okay, that is the word, very, very important one in OB. Actually, I think in the month of February, I think we completed OB. No, in the month of March, we completed OB actually. So in that particular phase of that 1 month, we have discussed about the OB methods and OB topics. So stimulus was, I think I've given the example as well of dog. I think those who are my previous students of the classes, we have discussed this particular term, stimulus, in that particular classes. Okay, so motivation, nothing but basically a trait, you could say a clue, a stimulus, the right word actually, which may enforce a particular person to work in a particular direction, or to work in a right direction, we can say.
Right.
Okay, so stimulus to enforce. Communication. Is it maybe verbal, non-verbal, or you could say the communication, the basic why I'm discussing this particular, why I've just mentioned this particular point over here. It is more about the system of communication we are talking right now, whether it's an open communication, closed communication, descriptive communication, okay, or we may say close-ended communication. Okay, so it depends on the type of communication structure or communication hierarchy or communication power you have. According to that, the efficiency of the work of the company may differ. So it is about a type of communication, or we can say type of redressal system we have in the country, in the company. Better word.
Trading transmissions.
Yeah, definitely. Because communication in the terms of HRM is more about redressal, okay, or grievances, which the top management must have to entertain.
Communication is like simply the act of the transmission information for
Yeah,
a one
definitely.
place, person, or group to another as well.
But Prince, I think that is in general sense. But when we discuss about it in the context of HR,
Yes, general.
it is more about the redressal system or grievances.
Okay.
Because that is a major issue which each and every individual always face in the company, that to whom to report, to whom to communicate, who will actually be the right person, those who may actually resolve the problem of the organization. That is about the grievances redressal system. Yeah. Welfare, I think it's related to in HRM. That is about the perks, bonus, retirement, or you could say pensions, insurance, etc. Clear? Very simple, I think. The different welfare schemes for the employees. It may include training as well. Okay, so always remember, it includes training as well. Training and development program. And what else in the welfare we can include, I think?
Comfort and improvement of employee.
We can say the work environment. I think work environment won't be the right word. Actually, like usually, like welfare is basically all about the what type of working environment you are providing in the factory. Usually, it is applied in the operations management, because whenever we are talking about the welfare of an individual, there should be proper, you could say, dehumidificator. There should be proper ventilation, proper protective gear, proper protective equipment you must have to give to them. That come under welfare as well.
Some cultural activity is also included in the welfare.
Okay.
Cultural activity.
Yeah, we
So
can
the
say.
free medical facility.
Yeah, that is, I think, medical.
Insurance.
Okay, insurance.
Yes, medical facility also included in welfare.
We can include, I think, medical facility. Okay. I think, please, I'll request everyone, please, don't unmute in between. Okay, if you are sitting at the environment which is quite peaceful, definitely you can keep continuously unmute yourself. But if there are certain disturbance at your end, please kindly unmute so that it may not create some hindrances in between. Okay. Safety and health, I think, as I discussed already with you, when we discuss about the factories, the industry, or the manufacturing sector especially, you always need to provide the safety equipments or safety features to the particular lesson, like would include the ventilation, dehumidification, air conditioning definitely will come, depends on type of industry. Then we discuss about the effluents, then protective gears or protective equipment, we can say, etc. Okay, and last point is that is about the industrial relationship. And as we know that Even though if we are the competitors, if we are working in the environment, definitely it is more important that how the industries are connected with each other and how you could say they are working in the interest of the development of the country or a sector we talk about. Like as we know, there are different pharmaceutical companies, there are different educational companies, there are different grocery or you could say the cosmetic companies available in India. But still, these companies, whenever they have a summit, whenever they have any, you could say, conferences or any, you could say, agreements or any MOUs, they always stand together for the betterment of the sector or betterment of the economy. That is the important part which comes under IR. That is called industrial relationship. I hope so. All these points are clear now. 14 points we have covered up. And these more, make sure why I have just given much focus on these 14 points, because these are the topics of your syllabus as well. The major point, I think so, can say. Hanji.
Yes, sir.
Perfect. So there are few more points which come under scope. I think we already covered up. Okay, just have a look of these points. I think so. That is about the human resource management scope, which includes your compensation benefit, employee assistance, organizational development, training and development, selection and staffing, design of the job, that is job designing, HR planning, personal research and information system, union and labor relationship. I think we have covered up all the points in details. Shall I enlarge this, I think? Haji, any doubt to anyone, please, in this? Shall we move, I think, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay, perfect.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you. So one more, I think, structure which I have, I think it might not be visible to you, but we have covered up all the points, because when we discuss about the human resource development or human resource, you could say management scope area, we always have these four basic parameters to analyze that. Okay, which includes your control. Control includes the human resource audit. Okay, control includes the human resource accounting and human resource information system. It is basically all about the data base or the data, you could say data system of a particular human resource. According to the facts and figures, according to the data available with the HR manager, they can analyze with the help of a statistical tool to actually whom to promote, to whom to demote, and what necessary action which we need to take against the employees. Then we have maintenance, means their remuneration, their motivation, health and safety, their security, industrial relationship, and appraisal, which we discussed already. These points come under maintenance of human resource. Okay. Next one, we have acquisition. Acquisition is nothing but basically recruitment, selection, placement, orientation, training. Everything will come under acquisition of human resource. And the last one, we have development of human resource, which includes the training and development of the of a particular person, which may promote him, which may help the company to you could say upgrade the skills and knowledge of the individual in the organization.
The meaning of internal mobility.
Internal
mobility. Last
internal,
point in development.
Yes, definitely. Internal mobility is nothing but basically, for example, you are working for a, you could say, bank. Okay, Bank of Baroda, for example. You are working in the Bank of Baroda, let us suppose, in a particular branch in Mumbai, in Dadar, for example. Okay, so you are working in Dadar right now, and let us suppose the head office of BOB is in regional office of BOB, sorry, is there in the Mumbai Central, for example. Okay, right now you are working in the BOB branch Dadar. You are working, let us suppose, as a cashier in the bank, or you are working as a credit manager in the bank. Internal mobility, nothing but basically whenever we are transferring the internal employee from one position to other position. For example, you are working in the branch right now, but now the BOB wants you to work in the head office to look after the work of audit, work of, you could say, or you could say the credit management in the company. That is called internal mobility. Transfer within the organization.
Okay, okay.
Yes, yes. Clear, I think, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So that I think enough for the very first day of this topic. And from next day, from tomorrow, definitely we'll start this remaining topic now. That is categories, functions, and a lot of things are there, definitely. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Fine.
Okay, sir.
Any
Okay, sir.
query, any doubt to anyone till this point? I think because today I think I have just created the base of this subject. So I have just discussed a lot of things with you at the base. But definitely from tomorrow onwards or from day after tomorrow onwards, I'll go a bit fast. A bit fast means bit more technical in this subject. Because this subject is very simple. It is more about discussion actually. More and more we'll discuss, definitely better would be the, I could say, the contextual understanding about this subject. And as I told you, I think as I can see right now in the class, we have a lot of new students. Please, you can approach me if you have any query. I have already given my number. You can note down my details. Actually, you can approach me on that. Okay. You can just text me because whatever you could say communication which have from my side regarding subject I'm talking right now. So regarding subject information, regarding notes, any activity, any case study, I'll definitely circulate with the help of WhatsApp only. So you can text me on that and we'll communicate accordingly. Fine. Anything else, please? New students actually we have today in the class.
Sure, sir.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Uday. Thank you so much.
Sure, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Any more query, any more doubt? You can also just approach me through this in Instagram as well. You can just note down this ID as well. So just approach me through. You can just text me on this ID as well. So I'll revert you. Okay, regarding your queries. Clear, students? Any more doubt? Any more query?
No, sir.
Perfect.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Thank you so much, everyone. It's a nice, very nice session actually, with all of you. Very good
Thank you,
interactive
sir.
session we had. So thank you, everyone. Please take care, and
Thank you,
we'll
sir.
catch you tomorrow at 7. Yes, one thing for the new student actually, you have to join these classes with the same link on daily basis. So there won't be any new link on daily basis. The same link is applicable for all the lectures. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Okay. Have a good day, sir.
Yeah. Everyone, please take care. Everyone. Okay?
Okay.
आपकी वॉइस क्लियर नहीं आ रही, रुको दोबारा फोन करता हूँ काट के।